Good morning, everybody. This is Justin with Big Rock Amusements. We are taking a look at our Crazy Dance this morning. Due to a very popular request, we've received several comments and requests on our YouTube channel to include the Crazy Dance in our how-to and inspection videos. This is going to be a very brief overview as we are knee-deep in lots of projects today, but we wanted to take a little time and show off our new ride. Please forgive any ums or pauses. These are completely unscripted, ad-libbed presentations by myself, so I'll do my best to keep it moving along. As we come up to our ride, we always want to make sure that we are checking various items. Some of the more less obvious items are just our safety signage. We want to make sure that all of this is here. This ride particularly has a warning that strobe lighting is in use, may not accommodate larger guests. Zero tolerance on cell phones or loose articles. We're very strict about that on this ride, particularly similar to several rides. Honestly, any ride you ride, you should put your cell phone away. But sometimes it's harder to catch and keep track of than others. But this ride can be very tedious when it comes to people holding loose articles, so we pretty much say no loose articles whatsoever. Cell phones, sunglasses, hats. We make everybody leave their stuff either down here at the front or they secure their items in zipped up pockets and bags, which is acceptable. As we're walking up to the ride, we're going to take a look at the cars, the vehicles, and the braking system for said vehicles to make sure that we are in compliance with our restraints, our braking. We always want to make sure that we're checking that the parking brakes are working on our platform. That's actually very easy to check. You simply try to move the platform and it will not move. If you want to manually go in and release the brakes, which right now they are locked, and it's very simple to see that it will move very easily. I'm going to come into the controls. We're in setup mode right now. I'm going to unbrake that main motor. And then as you can see, if that motor brake is released, it's very easy to move the ride. It's very easy to push the ride. So it's very obvious if the brake is not properly adjusted or working. So that's part of our inspection every day. Again, just giving you guys a little overview of our control system. Okay, brakes are engaged now. So you might get about a ½ inch of movement before the brake grabs. It's a magnetic electric brake on the gearbox motor. As we look around, we're gonna brake the cars. It's the sound, if you can hear it. So one of the things about the braking system on our particular Colmax spinner is that they've come up with a different system that allows the brakes to not to engage quite as rigidly, and it will drift past the brake a little bit if necessary, and it will find home. And again, as soon as it finds home, it will lock in place very gently. These are air actuated brakes. They use a plunger system underneath, and all of our brakes are working. It's very important to the operation of the ride. The last thing you'd like to have happen is these vehicles to be swinging back and forth and moving with people attempting to get in and out of them. So we have to make sure that they're always engaged and always working. It's also very important that the operators during daily operation are diligent to make sure any seats that did not find their home are locked in place before the riders exit the vehicles. So this ride requires heavy diligence, heavy attention to various things. Definitely an active ride if you're an employee working on this ride during open hours. We're going to check all of our restraints here. Very simple restraint system. It's a double locked, spring-loaded restraint system, and you have to use both. You have to open both. In order to open the lap bars, you want to check your seats for any type of abrasions, any damage to the fiberglass. We check our locks, make sure they're not coming loose. Our handrails are not coming loose. You're going to check your restraint system, make sure that these are fully locking. They're not half locking, but they're fully engaging with the locking mechanism. very important, obviously, for obvious reasons. A couple other things we're checking. Again, this is a brief overview. If you see something I missed, I apologize. I'm ad-libbing this as I go. I don't have my checklist in front of me. I'm just having a little fun for the sake of our followers that enjoy seeing this stuff. I want to make sure that our decorative domes are in place. These are locked down. We check them with our sockets and wrenches every day. The acorn nuts get snugged down tight. These get snugged down hand tight and about a quarter turn more, so we're not putting undue pressure on the fiberglass. Make sure that our lights are connected. We make sure that all of our panels on the sweeps are properly secured. Nothing's coming loose, nothing's rattling. We want to make sure that our hydraulic connections that lifts the cars into place during teardown are all the way down and seated properly. They're not raised up where the sweeps can make contact with them on the crosses. We're going to check and make sure that our center is fully secured. We don't notice any loosening of any bolts or anything like that. The access point is completely secure. We're going to make sure that all of our walk platforms on the rotating platform are intact. We don't see anything sticking up. We want to make sure that our bearings are greased according to the schedule that Colmax Plus has set forth. So that's sometimes, some things are daily, some things are weekly, some things are monthly. While we're up on the platform, we're going to check all of our fence. We're going to make sure that all of our fence is secured. One thing that we added, just to give it a little more strength on windy days, is we added our keys to our fence to help secure the fence down. I want to make sure that our keys are in. Again, that's something that we made an addition on, just on a choice. Make sure that our lollipop signs are secure, the plugs are secure, we don't have any risk of electrical issues. We want to make sure that everything is secure to itself, to the fence, that the pins are in. We're going to make sure that our walk platforms are properly secured. I'm going to take you guys underneath and actually show you how they secure. It's kind of ingenious, very simple, but very, very smart. We've added some trip hazard warnings here just to give you a heads up where there might be a little piece of hinge or whatnot. That's part of the design of the ride. And again, this is a brief overview. We're going to walk over here to our back wall. We always check to make sure that our hydraulics are not leaking fluid all over the place. It can cause various dangers, including fire hazards. We also obviously want to make sure that we're not destroying our beautiful artwork. But most importantly, we don't want hydraulic fluid going just anywhere. So we check these daily, just make sure we don't see any drippage. We check to make sure that our speakers are tight and mounted, they're not moving, there's no loose bolts. Last thing you want is something like that coming off the ride and turning into a final destination. Again, we're going to make sure that everything is secure back here. We check for any debris, any oil from the hydraulic cylinders on the decks. We also check that our clearance on the turntable is proper. That's an eyeball. That's just a quick glance to make sure that at no place is the underdecking coming within contact of the platform. And we're going to take a walk underneath and show you guys the behind the scenes, the good stuff. All right, before we go underneath, we are going to lock this ride out. I'm going to engage all the braking. I'm engaging all the brakes and I'm locking the ride out, taking the key with me so that no one else can come in and start the ride while we're underneath. That's a standard operating procedure. Lockout, tag out is the term used most often. In this instance, I'm going to remove the key and lock the doghouse door so that nobody can enter that without the keys that I have in my hand. So we're going to use that as a form of lockout tagout in this instance. Yes, we do have the red locks and the labels. In this instance, I'm going to trust that the locked doghouse and the removed control keys does not allow the ride to start. And then we're going to go underneath and take a look at the good stuff. So one of the first things we check when we come here, I'm also going to turn off the power to the ride. We are going to come underneath. Please pardon our messes. We were under here yesterday, moving stuff around and doing some organizing, so we're still in the middle of that, so I apologize. A couple of things that we're going to check here is we're checking all of our platforms. We're making sure that we have no broken welds. These platforms are jumped on by customers all day long in and out of cars. They're built very well. Everything is galvanized, so you don't deal with corrosion issues quite as much. We make sure that all of our R keys are in for our spreader bars. These are the bars that space out the sweeps for the platforms. We'll check all the way around for that. Make sure that all of our intermediates, making sure that they're all in place properly here. Make sure that all of our back wall supports are properly in place. If they require an R key, that the R keys are in, the fasteners are in. Make sure that all of our jacks are tight. One thing about this ride is as the ride runs day 1 and day 2, you do need to double check this because certain things shift and become settled, and then from that point on you usually don't find anything loose or not secured. That's perfectly tight right there. It's good. So again, you're looking at all of this. We check our trailer, we check our main sweeps, making sure that there's no weld issues. We make sure that our motors look good. There's no oil coming out of the gearboxes. Let me get in there and show you guys. This is the good stuff. If you're an uber nerd like me, this is the good stuff. So you want to make sure that the gearboxes have no leaks, no issues. We had popped this cap off. You can see right there. We had popped that cap off because we were looking to see what the level was at, and you can see a little residue there, but not a leak, so you know that you're okay. Also, a little trick with this ride is these hydraulic hoses that go up to raise the cars. You have to, when you retract them down in here, you want to make sure that they're not laying against the motor, so that you don't have heat damaging your hydraulic hoses. So that's something we check during setup. So these are the insides of our sweeps. You can see that in the inside here we have the centerpiece. These sweeps are actually hydraulically moved into place. This ride is extremely automated. That can be really good or really bad depending on what side of the fence you're on, but we've had good luck so far. We've got our main motor here. And then at the end of the motor, underneath this black cap right here, is where our electric magnetic brake is. We actually just had to make an adjustment to that a few days ago, and took a little crash course in that, and it was very easy, very well built. And we check our gears. We want to make sure that we don't have any chipped gears, anything like that. We want to make sure our gears have open gear lube on them. If you open gear lube these every day, this ride would have grease flinging everywhere. So we do this once a week, and it seems to hold very well. Some rides, like our Himalaya, you have to do every day. There's no way around it. This ride, whatever material they used for the gearing is definitely lets the open gear grease stick to it a little better. So definitely an awesome setup. So we're checking our trailer, obviously, for any cracks, any issues. We'll go all the way up and down the trailer. This is more of a weekly inspection by the head supervisors. Myself and other key employees will do this. The daily inspections are more along the lines of checking to make sure our keys are in place, checking for any obvious issues. What we're doing right now, what I'm talking about right now, is a much more in-depth inspection that is performed by management and supervisors that are trained, NARSO trained and otherwise. So we're taking a look. I don't know if I can zoom, I can't, but you can see our padding in there. That's the packing for the front of the trailer. And then you have the bases for the rear of the trailer. The trailer actually is suspended, and at 6 points it makes contact with the ground. And we're gonna check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer them while we're live. Once we're not live anymore, the video will be up, and it's very difficult to see thousands and hundreds and thousands of comments, so we do our best, but it is hard. So if you ever feel like we're not answering you, sorry. We're usually busy running the carnival. All right, we're going to go... this is mostly just showing you guys the underside of the ride. If you follow us on YouTube, there's an actual operational video where we show the underside while the ride is in full cycle. It's pretty interesting for people like me. All right, we're going to get ready to wrap this bad boy up. Let's take a look at the back side here. Our back wall is part of the inspection process on a daily basis. And as you can see, we have various braces back here. We check everything to make sure everything is connected properly. And there's a whole process to assembling. We are extremely happy with this ride. It's been very reliable. We've had little to no issue, little to no downtime. And it's been a top placing ride on our show. We've really been happy with it. Customers seem to absolutely love it. We've done quite a bit of additions to it. We've added a lot more lighting. We've added different like smoke and special effects, whatnot. And we've added a ton of lighting to it. We've tripled the amount of RGB floodlights on it. They're all wirelessly controlled and beautiful. It really gives the ride a nice atmosphere. We even added lights to the tops of the back wall, as you can see here, for both operation and then also teardown, because during teardown, the first thing you take down, second thing you take down are these signs that have most of the floodlights on them. So we also added our teardown floodlights on the front of the doghouse that help us see as well to the front side of the ride as we're tearing down, and it's been pretty nice. So unfortunately, no, we cannot operate the ride right now. We are on our small generator that runs our 24-hour power for our food and refrigerator units. So we cannot run the ride right now, but we do have videos. If you take a look at our YouTube channel, Big Rock Amusements, we do have videos posted of the ride being operated from the doghouse, and we definitely have plenty of footage out there. We're very proud of the new ride. We are currently waiting for the delivery of the reactor. It's ready to ship from the UK, and that will be making its debut this summer at Big Rock Amusements. We're super excited. Super excited. We've also got our Dragon Flyer coaster. It's a family launch coaster coming. And we're super excited. Big things coming this year. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to unlock the doghouse and just show you guys the inside of that. Just because, hey. So this is our control booth. We've pretty much everything from the left side we added. So we have all of our sound and sound effects and everything in here. Even added a nice little AC unit because it gets hot in here on a hot day. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We definitely love you guys for following us. We have a great fan base, and we certainly enjoy interacting with you. We've made lots of friends along the way, both in person and online. Never hesitate to introduce yourself when you visit our Midway. We'll see you next time.